So welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm a gorilla in the wrist. Today we're looking at an interesting Baltany chronograph that I'm really enjoying. I'm going to explain why I'm really enjoying it and then it'd be great to get your feedback. So let's get into it. So before we get into the detailed specifications for this watch, I did a little bit of research because I was sure this was directly homaging another watch. I think in the back of my head, I thought I had seen a Hoya, a German chronograph, that this was homaging. But the closest I could find to it was a brand I'd never come across called Dugana, again, another German watch. And the 157 is the one that I think this closest matches. It would be great if people know different. I'm all up for a bit of education. I would love to know what it is, but that's the closest that I could find to this particular Panda dial style. And curiously, that Dugana was often considered as the poor man's Hoya, and therefore that kind of makes sense, I guess. Okay, next I want to focus on the dial, because that's what this watch is all about. So it's a black dial with cream-coloured numerals. It has, on the outside, you can see it on here, let's try and get it close. It has a tachograph track on the outside and a second track on the inside. It has two, they're sort of silvery gold subdials at the 9 and 3. The 9 o'clock is the chrono minute hand, and it's a 60-second chronograph. And at the 3 o'clock is a 24-hour indicator. The hands are fairly simple. Again, like much of this watch, they are shiny. But they're fairly simple fence post hands. The minute hand stretches all the way out to the second track, which is really good. And the hour hand again stretches all the way out to the numerals. And there is also obviously the chronograph hand, which is a needle second hand, which stretches right the way out, actually all the way out to the tachograph. It says Baltany above the pinion and chronograph below the pinion. It has a really nice flat sapphire crystal, which I'm allegedly told has anti-reflective coating. If you're looking at this now, you might be wondering how good it is. I mean, the watch is still very visible. There's no second hand on this watch at all. There is no date. And the interesting thing about it is that the tacho and the second hand push the numerals much further into the dial than you'd normally see. And I think this has the effect of making the dial appear smaller than it really is. Certainly that's how it looks to me. And in terms of the finishing on the watch, the finishing is, well, it's very simple and it's very shiny. This one is going to be an absolute fingerprint magnet. But it works. It keeps it simple and keeps the look particularly clean. It does make it a bit of a nightmare for photographing, but it works very well. It's got a decent sized crown on it, and the two chronograph pushers at the top and the reset at the bottom actually work really well. There's a nice strong click. You get a very physical click back from it, so it's good. And then in terms of what we have on the back of the watch, it is completely sterile. There's no information on there at all, but a screw down case, and again that's more brushed than polished. So there is some brushing on it, but it's on the back and you can't see it when you're wearing it. And then finally, this comes on a really nice leather strap. I'm showing you the leather strap region. It comes on a really nice leather strap. It's not branded. I'm not actually that bothered about that. It's a decent thickness, the strap. It's not too thick, and it does conform to the wrist really well. Some decent stitching on it. I think it's pretty good. It seems appropriate to the style of watch for me. So that's a quick run around the watch. Let's get into the detailed specifications. Hey, you know when I said the leather strap wasn't branded? Apparently I was talking out my backside. I've turned it over and it's very clearly branded Baltany. It's not on the hardware. so it's not included on the hardware, but apologies, it is on the back of the watch strap itself. So this watch has a 39mm dial. The lugs are reasonably compact, 46mm. The lug width itself is 20mm, so you'll have plenty of straps for this one. And it has a thickness of 12mm. The movement inside is the Seiko VK64 Mecha Quartz. It weighs in a light 72 grams, has water resistance of 50 meters, and has a really decent flat sapphire crystal on it. So let's talk about what I don't like about this watch, and pay attention, this is not going to last very long. I think my principal gripe, and I've been scraping the bottom of the barrel because I don't find many problems with this particular watch. The only thing I would say is it may be that sapphire crystal, which is very nice, but as you can see, maybe a couple more coats of anti-reflecting coating might have made it a little bit less reflective. I'm not sure. But that's the only thing I can really think. I suppose the other minor issue is that the hands, which are beautiful and silvery, their visibility does vary occasionally. In the shadow, they are harder to see, although they are still visible. And the chrono hand is very difficult to see unless it is catching the light, at which point it's lovely. It really, really nice, lovely and thin chrono hand. But if it's tilted the wrong way, it kind of disappears, which is a bit of a shame. But that's about it, really. I can't think of anything else negative to say about this watch. So let's talk about the things that I enjoy about this watch. I think the first one I really enjoy is the overall vintage vibe. And if you're wondering why the Vario trench watch has suddenly appeared in the bottom right-hand corner, down here, I found it impossible to use the word vintage vibes without having the 1918 trench watch in shot. It just felt like sacrilege. So it's been in shot now. I'm going to move it out of the way. Right. This really is a very attractive watch. There is a combination of a really simple look with the functionality of a really useful chronograph. So this does work as a decent chronograph. I've been quite impressed with it. It has a bit of that style and elegance that we saw with the San Martin freckled dial watch. It is elegant on wrist. I mean, really elegant on wrist. It is very eye-catching. The size of it at 39mm sounds like it could be bordering on being slightly too large for a vintage watch if you're being absolutely authentic. But I think what saves it, and I mentioned this earlier, is the fact that the numbers are pushed in closer to the center of the dial. So the size, I think, is absolutely fantastic. It's hugely wearable. The 46mm lug to lug is perfectly wearable. So I'm going to stick it on wrist so that you can actually see it. So as you see, it's immensely wearable. And the other thing that makes it immensely wearable really is that strap, which is absolutely lovely. Really, really impressive. It's very soft leather. I mean, I'm a gorilla, so obviously it's on the last hole. You wouldn't expect anything less. But that combination of a decent size lug to lug and a comfortable leather strap is really, really good, and just makes it imminently wearable, and a bit of an eye catcher as well. The next thing I like about it really is the simplicity of it. So the finishing is very straightforward. They haven't tried to be clever. We haven't got chamfered edges all over the place. It's very simple, but it works, and it goes really well with the style of the watch. I also like the fact that it is a mecha quartz, so I don't have to keep stopping and doing this, although this does have the benefit of not having a date indicator on it, and therefore, even if it had been automatic, it would have been less bother. However, the fact that it is a mecha quartz watch means that this is going to run for 3 years without any problems, which I think adds to its go anywhere, do anything type approach. Whilst this is a particularly stylistic, vintage looking watch, it's very easy to wear. I've worn it to work in business situations. I've also worn it around the house, out to town. It's a very easy watch to wear. And then the final point, I guess, is just the price. So I picked this up during the June sale, and I think I paid the princely sum of about £100 for it. I think for a watch of this quality, that is an absolute bargain. And so those are the things that I like about it. Let's have a go at summing this one up. Before I do that, I did just want to mention that they also come in fantastic cases as well. So I've got a few of these around. As my Baltany collection grows, gets out of hand, I'm finding I have a few of these. My son has just got back from a holiday in Rome, and I gave him one of these cases to put his sunglasses in, just because they're fantastically padded, and it's got a really nice, you might be able to hear that because the microphone's nowhere near it, but it's got a nice hard shell, and it's got a lot of padding inside, and it's zipped, so it's all there. And again, as in common with the rest of the watch, it is very simply done, but it's done well. And if I was summing up that watch, I think that's what I would say. I think I would say what they've done is they've hit on a fantastic dial. The dial is just a joy to behold. And everything else they've just kept simple. So the strap is a simple black leather strap, but a nice quality. The finishing is simple. It's polished. Nothing else to be said, nothing else to see. And all of those things, that simplicity, draws you back into the dial. And the dial is clearly the star of the show here. So for me, I think this is an absolute winner. I'm wearing it more and more as time goes on, which is always an indicator that it's rooted. This one is well rooted. I am really enjoying it, but I would be really interested to hear what you guys think. So please drop me a comment, hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. That's about it for this one. Thanks for sticking it out to the end. I hope the weather is better where you are than it is here, because I'm doing this in the conservatory in the absolute pouring rain, which you may be able to hear in the background. I hope you're in a warmer part of the world. And then also, I just wanted to wish you a fantastic weekend, and hope that we'll see you again soon. There's more interesting stuff coming up over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So join me. We've got a couple of really special watches coming along as well. Be great to see you back. Thanks very much. Have a good weekend, everybody.